let's get this party started then. Yonkers is at Badgers right now. So, what happened is Yonkers has, over some time, suffered some lack of work over the past couple of months, and he's made ends meet, and he's been able to get by. He's had to move a time or two because of lack of rent, or done small jobs here and there. His fixer, Badger, has had some difficulty getting Yonkers some work, and recently Yonkers asked Badger to look into some things about his past, about his arrest that happened to him in back in late 2059. He was arrested in New York and sent away to prison, and Yonkers has ever since been trying to figure out what happened there exactly, to clear up some loose ends. But he had just recently asked Badger to see if he could get in touch with a Decker who could maybe find some stuff out about that. And Badger said that he would. Also, at Yonkers' request, Badger is working on getting a team together to get Yonkers back, and maybe he can start making some money. So, long story short, Badger agreed, but said that Yonkers is going to have to pay him back by promising to take a job that he'd lined up that doesn't really pay very well and might not be very fun. So now Yonkers is at Badger's office in the crime mall, and why don't you go ahead and introduce and describe Yonkers for everybody.
So, Yonkers is a 6'1" elf who is kind of lean and taut, wiry. And he's sporting a little bit out of a date Frohawk type deal, and some nice clothing that doesn't exactly fit him right. It's definitely high end, but it's not tailored to him. Take that for what you will. And he just kind of has that icy cold demeanor, that distant demeanor of someone who just has been running in the shadows a bit too long.
Right, and so Yonkers is sitting in Badger's office across from him right now, and you guys are actually waiting. Badger has told you that he's got a surprise for you. Brought in some old buddies for a team, and he might even have some of that info that you were looking for. And so you guys are waiting. The first one to show up is going to be a dwarf named Haunted House. So Haunted House has just arrived at the crime mall. You're up. You've been told where you need to go in the crime mall in Puyallup there in Seattle, and he's on the second floor, and you were able to get past his bodyguard because you were expected, and you're coming in the room now. So give us all a description of Haunted House for us.
All right, Haunted House. He walks in. He's a dwarf, about 4'3". Looks like he weighs about 190 pounds. He's wearing a nice set of clothing. So he's wearing the Ares Victory Rapid Transit. So pretty stylish clothing. He basically looks like a high-end sort of courier. Lots of pockets and stuff like that. And you can see him just kind of idly tinkering with what looks to be kind of a bulky kind of comlink almost. But he also he has it directly wired into one of his cyber eyes, because he's got augmented reality going right now, and he just kind of idly looks up and says, "Ah, guten Tag. Long time no see. And time has not been kind, my friend."
Says you.
Says So Badger says, Haunted House. How, looks like you finally made it here.
Yeah, I got set up with a place over in here in Puyallup, not too far away. Got my vehicles all offloaded, and I'm set up for the next couple of months at the very least. So
Aye, that's good to hear.
This is the job you were talking about? Getting you? I thought you were kind of joking when you said you were getting the band back together.
Well, I know that I know you used to run with Yonkers here, and Yonkers was looking for some old experienced fellas, and thought that you would be exactly the right person to call.
What dumpster did they pull you out of?
Well, I'm old and I'm certainly experienced, but we'll see how the job turns out when we get more information.
Malibu, you're making your way through the crime mall as well. Your description has been given to Frank, the troll bodyguard. Frank, he's a big dark-skinned bodyguard. He actually looks like he looks just like Huel from Breaking Bad, if you know who I'm talking about, except a troll. So he's a real big fat dude who stands there and kind of stares off, and he lets you in. So give us a description of Malibu as you walk in and everybody turns around and sees you.
Well, you see a human who is pushing well into middle age and into his early 50s, actually. And he looks like a guy who used to be a bodybuilder, but now he's starting to get a little rounded out with a little extra padding here and there. He has dark hair with some fading gray at the temples and a glint in his eye that probably used to be the sort of smart ass window into a smart ass's soul that's sort of getting glazed over with a cynical edge. And he is wearing a Hawaiian shirt under a sort of a green army jacket, and he's wearing just cargo pants underneath that. And he doesn't appear armed unless you are very experienced in checking for weapons, but he's walking in, looking comfortable, looking casual.
Badger sees you walk in and stands up and says, "Ah, Malibu. Looks like you made it. Do you have any trouble finding the place?"
Yeah, no, I used my map on this phone thing, and it worked pretty well. Yeah. So how you been? It's been a few years there, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, same you. Do you recognize your friends here, Yonkers and Mr. Haunted House? You guys apparently knew each other, or I set you guys up back in '59. Long time no see, you know.
You got old.
Holy crap. I don't know what's older, you or that piece of hubjub in your hand that you're typing into.
He's gonna kind of ignore House, and then he's gonna look at Yonkers for a long time, and then he's gonna look at Badger, and he's gonna go, "So what the hell's he doing here?"
Right. I knew this might be an issue. So so I know the last time you worked with Yonkers here, he he was picked up by the Star in Manhattan, and I don't know how much you know about this, Yonkers, but Haunted House in Malibu here were on their way to uh, to to be there, and they were almost picked up by the Star too. And I had to convince Malibu pretty hard to come here without telling him that you were going to be here, because well, let's just say some people are a little apprehensive.
No shit, but if the old man here doesn't want to be here, by all means. I mean, I left. I'm sure his walker is still safe outside.
Please, please, bitte, gentlemen. If we keep fighting, then they won't give us Jello at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so let's try to be as polite as possible. Well, listen, I brought you guys here not just for work, but I thought there might be some information I'd be able to get you guys that you'd all be mutually interested in. Yonkers, I've been looking into what you wanted me to look into for you. To find out exactly what happened back there in '59, and I got a Deca buddy of mine on it, and he's supposed to be arriving here too. He might have something. I'm not sure. He hasn't gotten in touch with me about it. I told him just to come on, because it's not the only reason I wanted him to come here anyway. So he shouldn't.
Well,
be too
well,
far.
I can tell you what happened back in '59. This pointy ears over here. Yeah, he looks pretty good for his age. I'll grant him that. But he's also a vicious cop killer. And House, are you okay with this? You're comfortable with all this here, this table? And he's pointing at Yonkers when he says this every time.
Hey, I haven't worked on the good side of the law since '49 practically. So, you know, I'm as big a fan of the police as anybody on this side of the underworld, but you know, nobody's perfect.
You are not the one who did, 4 years upstate, man. Why don't you keep your mouth shut and pay attention to the paycheck?
Yeah, 4 years for multiple homicides. Yeah, it's an abortion of justice, definitely.
Listen, fellas. We've all had our fair share of running with the difficult side of morality.
What's the pay, Badger? What's the pay on this? Huh?
I
Well,
haven't had no problem with morality. I left it in a gutter somewhere years ago.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Get ahead of ourselves. And right about that moment, Case was also called by Badger to uh, to come in and report on that data that he's been referring to, that he had Case Decker look into. Now, Case, of course, you weren't able to find anything. Actually, Case looked and figured looked into some Lone Star stuff, especially around that time in Manhattan, and it looks like it's probably been so long ago that it's probably all archived somewhere. And that was trying to dive into Host and Matrix archives was way above the outside the range of pay you were getting, which was little to nothing. But he wanted you to come by even if you didn't have it, because he said he might have some work for you. So Case is already also walking in about now, and why don't you do the thing and give us a description of Case?
So Case, he's about 25 years old, about 6 foot. Right now he's wearing a very nice Ace of Diamonds suit, but he doesn't look very comfortable in it. Looks like more like a kid going to church than
Right, okay.
a businessman going to a business meeting. You can you can tell that he's got some headwear, but he's not extremely cybered. And he looks like your IT guy. His hair is kind of shabby, not very well groomed, a little bit of stubble.
So as Case comes in, Badger looks kind of relieved at the tension, at the new distraction to the tension that's building, and he says, "Right, Case, this is the guy I was talking about. He's a Deca friend of mine, and Case, come in, sit down. There's some information that I had you look into. Were you able to turn anything up?"
Well, I wasn't able to turn up much for what we were looking for anyway. Most of it, whatever survived the Crash 2.0, is pretty well buried pretty deep. So if you want me to dig deeper, I can, but it's going to cost you a little more.
Yeah, I've dealt with Decas who talked about archived stuff before, and that doesn't come cheap. Well, let me say that the main reason I brought you guys here is, quite frankly, I've been looking for some people to put together as a steady team of Shadowrunners for me, and I know that not only are many of you old chums, but you're all also people that are for one various reason or another looking for some work, because you can't find any other way. So, what do you guys say doing some work for me, and maybe thinking about, I don't know, doing some more work for me?
I'm always down for a paycheck.
I think that'll be acceptable.
I got to hear a little bit more about it first, but I'm open to hearing more.
Well, hopefully I can get you to be somewhat enthusiastic about the future, because the job that you're about to do is probably not going to garner any enthusiasm.
Well, I
Well,
won't be going back to Berlin anytime soon, so
I tell you what, Badger, I trust you. So, how about we do this one on a one-shot basis, and we see how it goes from there. I'm still gonna tell you, I'm warning you, be careful working with this guy.
Well, believe it or not, I do know what I'm doing, Malibu. I've been a fixer for a long time, and I've worked with Yonkers for a very long time. And in the recent past, I've worked with him quite closely, and he's done a very good job. I trust him. I understand your apprehension. I'm just going to ask you to trust him, and if you say that you do, then I must have much gratitude, and I have faith that Yonkers and the rest of the group here can prove themselves.
All right, well, I'm in for this one then.
All right. Well, like I said, this job's a little interesting. You see, I have an old friend of mine. He used to be a Johnson back in the day, Frank Anders. He's been in the business for the Johnson business for probably like 30 years now. He just turned 80 years old. Now, he's decided that it's finally time for him to retire. I mean, you know, I would have said it'd be time for him to retire 20 years ago, but he loved the work. So he's decided it's finally time for him to retire, and he wants to go out for a night on the town, visiting all the old good Shadowrun clubs and bars. He's the thing is, he asked me to find him some people to take him out, but he wanted a group of Shadowrunners to make it feel like old times. He's out in the shadows, gallivanting around like a real young businessman. Doesn't pay great. It's only 4,000 new yen altogether. So, but shouldn't be difficult. I mean, you're just going around and showing the guy a good time.
So grandpa's, babysitting great grandpa's. Gotcha.
Right. I thought you guys would be just peachy for the job because, I mean, look at you. You're old, classic, experienced veteran Shadowrunners, and this is the type of group he wants. He wants to go out and night on the town, share old war stories, kind of stuff.
does he have transportation arranged, or does he want the full package?
He wants the full package.
All right. It won't be a very pretty package, but that's what he's paying for.
I bet you if it's not a pretty package, he'll like it all the more. He misses the old days of going out and slumming around in the shadows and whatnot.
So, what's the time component on this here babysitting job?
Yeah, he's looking to go out tonight. He's looking to go out tonight. He said he was going to come here to my office at about 8 this evening. Have somebody show him around.
So one night?
Just one night, yeah.
This sounds like a bit too much of a milk run for 4K.
Yeah, what's the catch here, Badger?
Well, he just threw me some new yen to help cover some expenses and everything for whoever's going to be showing him around. He's asking a favor of me, but he's an old friend of mine, and I want someone who's going to do it right. So a lot of this money's coming out of my pocket.
And what's the protocol on it if something goes, awry or askew or afoul? What are we entitled to do?
Well, I don't imagine. I mean, I guess this is, who knows where he's going to be taking you and what kind of a crazy time he's going to want to do. But of course, the protocol is always to keep. If you're basically his escort for the night.
Yeah, so I mean, if somebody comes at this guy with a broken bottle or recognizes him as the billionaire playboy that he is and decides to try to extract him or something, I mean, how far are we expected to go? And if there's a body count, I mean, is that going to be an issue?
Just keep him safe.
You get what I'm saying?
Just keep him safe and try not to. The only rules of engagement you have to obey are your own, that fit with your own moral code.
Does he have any automatic dock wagon contract or anything that may interfere if he gets endangered?
That's a good question. I would assume he probably does.
Well, I'm going to make sure that it doesn't necessarily cover tonight while we're watching him.
Well, I would think that he would appreciate if he still had Dockwagon able to pick him up if things go south, but it shouldn't, right? Eh?
It shouldn't, and I'm sure they'll be able to pick him up, but they're not going to be able to come and get him from us. There's going to have to be something else worked out.
I guess I'm in on this extremely suspicious little job because I'm hard up, and you know I'm hard up, so you know you got me by the short hairs. But the only thing I'd ask is, can we get half up front? Because you know, I need a little insurance.
Having trouble making payments at the retirement home?
It's a skeevy little coffin hotel, but yeah, it would be nice to pay my rent.
All right. Well, look, half up front. I know you're going to need some expenses. You're expected to take him out and buy some drinks and whatever that Drek it is he wants to do. I might be able to hit you with 1,000. No, you can. If you want to negotiate with him and everything, you go ahead and roll some negotiation.
All right, here we go.
Whoa, what happened? Oh, he just rolled really, really well. That's unbelievable. He says, I can give you maybe 250 new yen up front.
You mean each, right?
That'll have to be all together.
You're paying for the guy's drinks and everything, right?
So that should probably cover his drinks.
It's gonna cover his drinks.
Look, he hasn't even paid me yet.
Oh, that makes me feel a lot better. Thanks, Badger. All right, just give me the fraggin' my cut
You're
of this.
doing me a really
250
big
and
favor
yeah, I realize
Yeah.
that, and you owe me one.
here. He shoots you like a really big, like, cheesy grin.
Yeah, Malibu will put out his cred stick and bite his tongue because he didn't roll 7 successes.
So yeah, you get 250 of it. Says he asks you guys got any other questions?
Are we meeting him somewhere, or does he expect us to pick him up?
He said he was going to be here at about 8 tonight. It's 10 a.m. right now. Or no, I'm sorry, it's 2 p.m. right now.
There a dress code?
I guess that depends on where he wants to go.
Fair enough.
All right,
Be
well,
prepared. Let's just say that.
I'll come back then. I'll bring a large enough vehicle. I can carry maybe four other adults.
All right, I'm gonna go. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and go buy some nice clothes because I don't have any. So
All right. Do you want to hit the crime mall?
yeah, I guess I'm gonna invest in some kind of armored jacket suit, like an armored suit. Would they have
Okay.
that at the crime mall, or would that be someplace I'd have
You
to go?
could probably find one there.
Well, before I take off, gentlemen, let me exchange my telecom digits. I'm here in the neighborhood in Puyallup, not too far away, but I'm just going to go hang out for the day. I'll be back here maybe 7:30 with my automobile.
I hand my crappy phone to House and say, can you just put yourself in there and make sure it's on the desktop so I can see it?"
Yeah, sure. One moment. So Hauser's gonna grab his phone as soon as Malibu hands it to him, and just to make a show out of it, like it really is as difficult as he thinks it is, I want to roll my computer skill and attempt to do something stupid while I enter in my contact information.
You're attempting to do something stupid on accident, or on purpose accident?
I want to change all of his ringtones and everything back to factory default, but keep his contact list.
Okay. Roll a hardware. Yeah, you're able to do that. It's gonna it starts to like a sort of like resetting process, almost like it's restoring the default settings and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to take a minute or two for it to cycle through that.
All right, my friend, you have my number, and look, you get upgrade from network. Now have 9 digits.
I
Yeah.
thanks.
You do notice that after it comes up that it was already on all the factory default settings. In fact, all the typical. It looks like it probably the device itself looks like it's been carried around for quite a while, but it definitely, in terms of the interface and software, looks like he just had it handed to him from a comlink salesman. Like maybe it's been used by someone who doesn't know very much about how to customize their comlink.
So you hit this button and you just say dwarf, and it will call me.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So I just talk to it.
Yeah, just like it's a telephone.
Hey, thanks, House. You're 100%. And then I want to take him aside and I want to put my arm around him, even though he's smaller than me. I'm gonna stoop down and say, "Listen, can you like keep your eyes, all 3 of them, on this old dandelion eater over here for me? Just let me know if you notice anything funny going on."
You know me, I'm a spider. I have like 8 eyes everywhere.
All right, just keep him out of the men's room.
I always put them in the ladies' room.
All right. As Case walks out, he sends everybody his numbers and says, well, I will meet you back here at 8 unless you want to call to do some things or discuss how this is going to go. And he sends everybody almost like a holographic business card for Case Enterprises with a number on it.
All right, everybody receives an Arrow business card, an augmented reality object business card from
Thank you.
Case
I could
with
not
his
remember.
Inspect and slot it up.
Now you're able to easily. Malibu's able to easily find some armor clothing.
Can I get the same specs as my current armored army jacket, which is I think that cost me 900, I think, to begin with. How much would that cost if I had that as sort of more of a nightclub friendly, probably 2050s fashion suit? Instead of an army jacket, I wanted to be like a Don Johnson big shoulder pad blazer kind of thing.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. You can have that for the 900.
Okay, I'll just pop that on over my Hawaiian shirt and call it a day.
Okay. Before you guys left, Badger did make it a point to say that he's looking for and hasn't been able to really find a mage for your group because mages are just hard to come by, and it's hard to come by mages. Mages usually when they find a group stick with the team, and he's just having difficulty.
Well, you find one. You tell them we don't bite. We have nice coffee and chocolate fingers.
So Yonkers is hanging back with Badger as everybody, including Case, heads out.
Yep, that's the plan.
Yep.
All right. Well, Malibu, Haunted House, and Case, as you guys leave, you're headed out of the crime mall, and you're chatting and getting to know each other, and not too far from the crime mall, down maybe even less than a block away from the crime mall, on the corner, you notice a couple of gangers who are causing a ruckus, speaking kind of loud, and they're all surrounded around. As you get closer, you notice they're all surrounded around this odd-looking kid. He's got big giant glasses on, and he's really skinny, and he's wearing sort of like a weird-looking kind of fancy-looking biker jacket and a backpack on top of it. Probably pulled up too high. And Tyler, go ahead and give me a description of your character, because that's who's there being harassed by some gangers.
All right. Well, Jerry is 6'3". He weighs about 160. He's very, the stereotypical Aryan race. He's blonde, like white, almost white hair, and bright blue eyes, and extremely pale. Not quite the you know, what's the word? Just a very extremely pale, just very geeky looking kid. Yeah, he's got this, his cool armor jacket on. Well, he thinks it's cool, and he currently has a 10-speed bike, but it is now on the ground because he got knocked off of it, and so that's where he is right now. He's just kind of got knocked off his bike, and he's just standing up.
Yeah, he's standing in the middle of four, punk-looking gangers that are pushing him around and giving him a hard time and saying like, hey, what's someone like you doing out here around the crime mob? What are you trying to get yourself? What do you got carrying on you? You got giving him a hard time, trying to like get him to give him their stuff. They're trying to pull his backpack off his back, stuff like that.
Case is in AR, and he's looking for what icons are running around him.
You're looking for hidden icons?
No, I just want to see what icons are showing right now. It shouldn't be a matrix perception for non-hidden, though, if they're visible.
Also note any obvious weaponry.
There's no obvious weaponry out right now that you can see. They're just pushing this guy around back and forth. They're kind of wearing, kind of street ganger looking clothes, with like cut off sleeve leather jackets and maybe some spikes on the shoulders. And you do notice that they're wearing blue, and the colors they're wearing are blue and gray. And the back of their jackets have a cartoon shark on it. And
I just rolled initiative.
You're getting right to it, huh?
Yeah, that's Malibu's style here.